What's on, where, and when. It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio. The Mako Rugby Roundup.
Welcome to episode 11 of the Mako Rugby Roundup. Welcome back to my co-hosts Les Edwards and Sean Davis. Good to see you guys here.
Cheers, mate. To be here.
Couldn't do it without you, so I'm glad you're here. So we always talk dress sense. You got the rainbow colours on again, but tell us about that jersey.
Oh, no, this is just a Tasman Mako jersey.
Yeah.
In honour of Quinton, of course.
Of course. But it's got the nice stripes. So.
Oh, absolutely. Red, white, blue.
What year was that one?
2020.
2020, right, okay. And you're obviously supporting New Zealand today.
Exactly, mate. Just for the occasion. It's a bit cold out, mate.
Yeah, indeed. And it's also a great pleasure to welcome back our special guest, Quentin McDonald. And nice to see you got the central shirt on.
Yeah, thought I'd get the central polo out. It was pretty cold outside. I was looking a bit silly walking down the street with a polo on, but that's good.
Yeah. Good to have you here, mate. Yeah. And you are player coach for Centrals, but also we hear a new job. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so at the start of the year, I managed to snag a job with Tasman, awesome. A game development management job over in Blenheim. So
game development. So
yeah, so it's a lot of a lot of school stuff, a lot of JB and age grade stuff. So it's been pretty cool. It's been a learning experience and something that I'm thoroughly enjoying.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, we're going to find out more about that in the show a bit later on. On today's show, we're going to be talking First 15 rugby, also the quadrangular tournaments on at the moment, Nelson College competing in that, senior men's and women's rugby. It was the women's final, also the Super Rugby final. So how did our tips go? And, of course, we catch up with Quinton about the Stuff Tasman Trophy and also the Mako season ahead and, of course, your new position. But first, our venue sponsor is O'Shedigan's on Bridge Street. It's time for the Shed Chat. And, Sean, what's been happening during the week?
Yeah, mate, we're just recovering from a big weekend of rugby. And,
yes, of course.
Super Rugby final was all the rage. It was a big evening and, really good games. Good turnout in the bar and, I think it may have brought a few more people out because it was a big night out in town after that as well.
Yeah, right. Oh, good. Oh, nice. Yeah. So what's on the agenda for this week?
Yeah, a little shorter rugby this week, mate. But it's we'll focus our attention on the club stuff. There's some pretty big club rugby around on Saturday. And then, we'll have to improvise with the late night entertainment. We might watch the Warriors on Friday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
that's a must watch.
They're going well, aren't they, at the moment? So.
Yeah, if there's no rugby, we'll watch.
We'll take
up the wires.
Indeed. All right, let's get into it. First 15 rugby round 7, and what's it looking like, Les?
So in the championship, we've got Waimea Combined, who are playing away to Christ College, second 15. They came off a loss last week, so they'll be looking to get back on the horse. They're 2-4, playing Christ College second 15 are also 2-4, so a good opportunity there. And as mentioned, it is quadrangular tournament. And on Tuesday, by my reckoning, Nelson College had a surprising loss to Whanganui Collegiate by 28 points to 35, so that means they're not in the final, which is being played today, but they were in a consolation plate comp playing Christ College. Now that'll double up, Chris, as a round 7 Crusaders region first 15.
Oh, okay, so they're going to do
premiership game
2 for 1.
Yes.
Oh, awesome. I managed to catch the highlights actually last night. I just happened to notice them on Sky, and geez, what a game! I mean, it was Whanganui Collegiate. Most of the first half, and they were quite ahead at half time, but a great comeback by Nelson College and very unlucky to lose that match.
Yeah, they just gave Whanganui too much of a start and weren't able to pick it back. But hopefully they learn a lot from that. You know, they've had a storied history in quadrangular for the last, half a dozen years. So, it's just a little kick in the pants, which will get them back down to earth and let them focus on improving on their 7-0 record today against Christ College.
Yeah, indeed. We wish them all the best of luck. And we've got senior club rugby. So it's the senior women's Stuff Tasman Trophy final. And the green machine did it. So your club will be very happy, Les.
Yeah, we are very happy.
Yep,
And so
there's one in the cupboard.
yeah, so were the ladies, actually. They're very delighted because they had a good year. You know, they only only lost 2 games all season. Kahurangi, who were their finalists, had been one of those teams that had pipped them. And Kahurangi, a very good side. But Marist got a very good start, a fast start, 19 points to 0 up after 13 minutes, and then just maintained, their possession, their dominance throughout. Kahurangi had a nice sweet spot in the second half where they fought back, but yeah, a 38-5 victory for Marist is pretty comprehensive.
Yeah, it is quite comprehensive. Were you surprised at that score? Did you think it was going to be close?
Absolutely. As we said on the show.
Closer, eh?
Oh, you tipped it in a landslide.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't
worry about me.
You know your rugby.
Yeah.
But I thought it would be close.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations to both sides, actually. Fantastic. Big occasion, but obviously to Marist for picking up the trophy. So roll on FPC. So
yes,
we'll talk about that as well. The Stuffed Tasman Trophy, round 7. And Quentin, this is where we actually put our tipping hats on.
Nice,
so even though, actually, you would have seen quite a few of these teams.
Oh, yes.
So you've played against them, so you'll have a pretty good insight here. And the first one, actually, we will go for you because we've got complete bias on our left.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a tough one. Marist versus Kahurangi at Trafalgar Park.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one to pick. I think Marist is starting to roll pretty well, so I'm probably going to pick Marist over that one, especially at home. I think the deck might be pretty dry.
Yeah, be great
compared to every other pitch around here. It's a bit of a mud bath everywhere else, so I think it'll be pretty good. So I'd go Marist.
Okay, Les, Waimea. Oh no, I'm throwing you this. I'm throwing you.
Don't throw to me.
So Waimea Old Boys. So what's happening there? Who are they facing, or is that no opposition?
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Come back to that later.
They're playing Central.
I can see he's sitting there.
He's going, what about us?
I was going to say Central's not there, so it must be them.
That's a Marist thing to get.
So,
Only worry about themselves.
Okay, so Waimea Old Boys at Jubilee Park taking on.
Start the Sean, please.
Taking on Central.
Yeah, mate. It's just about time for semi-final rugby for that top 4. I think Central will roll through these boys pretty comfortably, and look forward to a good semi-final run.
I know your friend is there, Quentin. Got a friend over here.
So Mako has to say it because I'm here.
Mako won't be happy, will he?
Oh, I might say something.
We're having a go at you in the changing rooms now. Mutri versus Stoke, and what's the occasion like at Stoke last week?
Big crowd, but a terribly muddy ground, as are all suburban grounds at the moment in our region. Just so much water, and they don't get to dry out. The grass cover goes pretty quickly, so it was a bog. But getting back to this game, Mutri, congratulations. You've got a first win of the season against Waitoi, which I'm very, very pleased for that club. They've stuck at it all year. They're very, very young, but they had 3 of the 4 Molly brothers back, which made a bit of a difference, I hear. But, at Awarua Park, I think Stoke will be too strong. With Stoke winning and with Central winning, that makes that match, Marist v Kahurangi, so important to determine the rankings in the top 4.
And Quentin, Nelson versus Waitoi at Neil Park.
Neil Park, nice.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Another ball.
Oh, yeah, I think both teams, I think they're winding down. I'd have to go the home team. Nelson. My heart wants to go Waitoi, but I'd say Nelson at home is going to be pretty tough.
Okie dokes. All right, good luck to the teams this Saturday. Super Rugby final. And boy, what a cliffhanger, wasn't it? As we expected, it would be a tough match. Chiefs versus the Crusaders, but the Crusaders did it, the 7th in a row. And Quentin, presumably you saw the match. And so what were your thoughts on it?
I thought it was a tough match. It's just Crusader-like, isn't it? It was pretty tough towards most of the part there. They started pretty well and probably didn't get the points they deserved. And once the forwards rolled up their sleeves, it was all business. So I thought it was an awesome match. I thought it was pretty fair, and I was pretty happy for the Crusaders to get that victory.
Les, what were your thoughts?
Oh, just an outstanding game of rugby. I tipped the Chiefs to perhaps get it at home, but credit to the Crusaders. And Q-Mac, you spent time in the Crusaders camp this year. So what makes them so resilient and so special when it comes to finals footy?
Yeah, I did. I was one of the 47 players used this year. So, I mean, like you said, you've seen all the injuries they've had, all the All Blacks outs, and I mean, it all starts from the top. Their coaching staff's unreal. That was probably the biggest learning experience going in and seeing how Razor operates, and even the assistants, Hanson and Tom Allison and Piggy. Old Dan Perrin's been doing great guns down there. So, I mean, once that's all sorted, and I think everyone just comes in, does their job, and finals footy is always going to be tight rugby. So, I think, and that's what the Crusaders pride themselves on. So, I mean, the resilience they showed, especially to battle away. I mean, it wasn't perfect in the final, but I mean, a couple more tries kind of saves them, and then the rest is history.
Sean, what were your thoughts on the game?
Mate, they're just too hard to tip against in semis and finals. They just seem to know what to do. Well, they clearly know what to do, and it's a different game for those last couple, as we know. And yeah, Chiefs maybe a little unlucky on a couple of calls or a couple of mistakes in the wrong times, and that's all the Crusaders needed, really.
Yeah, there were some yellow cards, weren't there? So, and also Damien McKenzie only just talk about a game of inches. Just missed that penalty, which could have changed the game, couldn't it? So,
absolutely,
it's definitely a turning point around there. Up and down footy, but
a big hat tip to Sam Whitelock though. How good a game did he play on with a damaged Achilles? And I hear that the All Blacks aren't too happy that he did decide to play, but he wanted one last crack with his team and got them a trophy.
Why wouldn't you? I mean, why wouldn't you if last ditch effort to try and take a title and to do it for you? So I think he deserves it with everything he's put into the game, and he'll be right. He'll bounce back. These early games of the All Blacks will be testing. Just really testers going into the World Cup. You can't read too much into these, and he'll be there when it matters, I'm sure. So that's the main thing. All right, fantastic. Well, that's Super Rugby over for another year. Would you believe it already? But there's still plenty of rugby to come, that's for sure. You're with the Mako Rugby Roundup, and it's our great pleasure to welcome our very special guest, who is player coach for Central in Marlborough, Quinton McDonald. And great to have you here, mate. You're a Tasman Mako hooker, Mako number 48, and the most capped Mako with 108 games under your belt. So you're also in second year as a player coach for Central and defending the Stuff Tasman trophies. So, mate, you're a veteran player, that's for sure.
Definitely.
But a young coach. So into it, how are you enjoying that transition into coaching, and do you have a desire to continue at some high level?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I mean, your veterans are understatement, getting pretty old. I mean, everyone's. I was at training yesterday. I was trying to see if anyone was 30. I'm not even too sure. So, and I'm halfway to 40. So, I've been enjoying my time doing some coaching. To be fair, early in this career, I didn't think I'd get into it, but coming back to Central, being able to play and put the coach's hat on, it's been awesome, and it's probably something, like you said, that I'd love to do in the future. I mean, last year was awesome. We had an awesome team, and we did some good things. This year's been a little bit different. A few injuries, been hit by the injury bug, then new boys coming in. So it's definitely been a learning experience, and I think it's something that I'll take towards the rest of my coaching career. So been enjoying it, been enjoying playing, still enjoying my footy. So yeah, it's been good.
I mean, there's one thing playing, and then there's one thing coaching. But when you are player coach, how do you handle that situation?
Yeah, it's I enjoy it. I mean, obviously I don't mind the planning, because there's a bit of planning when you come to coaching, so it's all there. And I mean, I'm engaged with the players anyway, so the man management stuff kind of takes care of itself. But I've got an awesome assistants. I've got Ricky Winitana, who was been his third year assistant, and he's coached the Malt Red Devils last year, and he did some development Mako training as well. And this year I've got Hamish McCurrow, and he's coached First 15 Westlake, and he's helped out First 15 here. So I've surrounded myself with some pretty good assistants. But we're a team that when you come in, you know, if you got something to say, you can say it. And we've got Braden Stewart, who's injured this year, but he's done some awesome things. He's pretty clued on, does some good things about defense. So I mean, it's a team that's pretty inclusive. If someone's got something to say, they can say it, and we work from there. So it's a pretty good environment. I think the young boys coming in have really shown what they can do, and a little bit more development. Hopefully, they can push on.
So you got some eyes on the sideline.
Yes,
you got some eyes.
I do
have
some eyes on the sideline. Yeah, some good eyes too. So that's good. Yeah,
Mate, defending champs in the Tasman Trophy, and four wins to start the season. A couple of losses in a row now. Anything different you do internally to get the lads back on track for Saturday?
No, well, yeah, that's a funny thing. Yeah, we started pretty well, but we weren't really nailing some stuff, and then. Yeah, the loss against Stoke was disappointing. I mean, it was for different aspects. Both games have been disappointing. I mean, we started pretty poor against Stoke. We're down 21-0 after 15 minutes. And then to flip it to the other side, Kahuranga, they scored 21 points in 15 minutes on the other end. So, like I said, we do have a few experienced boys out, but the boys that we've got in, I think we've got 3 or 4 18-year-olds that have been playing the house down. So, from the other side of things, last year we had a good year, no injuries. This year's a bit different, and it's just been a learning experience. And I'll probably get a bit more enjoy. I obviously don't like to lose. I hate losing. I'm probably the worst all loser, so that's never good. But to seeing the development that we're doing in our group is, I think it's going pretty well. And the boys, the 18-year-olds and stuff that are playing, they've been awesome. So it's kind of keeping the season alive a bit.
So you got 5 more training runs and hopefully 3 more games.
Hopefully the weather holds out. We can train on the fields.
Yeah, but 3 more games hopefully too, mate. That would put you into a final where you can defend that trophy. And then it's into your 13th Mako season.
Yeah.
So, mate, what excites you? What motivates you to keep coming back and pulling on the Mako jersey?
Yeah, that's a good question. I just, I suppose it's just my home. It's like my second, I pretty much grew up here. Started when I was at school when Tasman, the Mako were first coming in. So I was a young academy player, and then it's just kind of been my life. I mean, to play here, be able to stay in Nelson and Blenheim to play professional rugby, I thought when I was younger, was a bit of a pipe dream, but for it to come to fruition and just, been here as long as I have, all the mates I've made, all the coaches I've had, all the players I've played with, it makes it special. And I mean, putting the jersey on, running out onto Lansdowne or T Park is always something special. So I was like, I just love it. I love the team and love coming back, and it's awesome.
So that vision that Max Spence and Shane Drummond and a few others had to provide that opportunity for our local players is epitomised by you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And now I'm transitioning into a little bit of coaching, and now I've got a job with that. It's like, looking after. I'm like, it's good.
It's been down in the Crusaders camp,
I played for the Crusaders.
Yeah, as well.
Before,
but so I'm just thinking about that next stage.
There you go.
You never know. You first made the Tasman Mako as an 18-year-old in 2007, and you played through till 2015 season. You were coached in those years by Dennis Brown, Todd Blackadder, Kieran Keane, and Leon McDonald.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about those coaches and what they brought to the team and, of course, your game?
Yeah, well, I remember. So I was first year out of school, my very first game, and I remember Bull Stewart, he got injured, or he did something, had a hammy, and I played my first game in Blenheim when I was 18, and I think I was about 90 kilos dripping wet, and I was a hooker. And I remember coming up against Ala de Malmunch. If you know him, he's an absolute monster. He benches about 220 kilos, so it was pretty daunting. But starting pretty young. Had Dennis Brown. I actually had him. He coached my under-19 New Zealand team, so had a bit of a relationship there. And he coached Marlwood Devils, so I'd seen him. He was good. He was a little bit old. He's old school, but he did some good things. And Toddy was just he was a good good motivator, good people person, and he did some good things for the region as well. I mean, he's only there for 1 year, and then he got the Crusaders job, but learned some things off him. But I think the next two with Kieran Kane and Leon were probably helped me hugely throughout my whole career. I had Kieran Kane at my last year at first 15 in Marlborough Boys, they kind of transitioned to there. And I mean, I say today he's probably one of the better coaches I've had. Technically, he's an absolute genius, and I mean, just some of the things I've learned is probably why I'm leaning towards a little bit of a coaching pathway, because he didn't just teach me some technical stuff. He taught me like ins and outs of games. And I mean, I'm not as mad, I'm not a mad scientist like him. I'm not sitting there. He'd be sleeping. He's got a notebook next to his bed, and he wakes up, comes up with some plays. I'm not that thing yet, but he just taught me just the technical, just some technical things around how I can get better, how the team can play, and just bit of innovation. So, I mean, if you look at the game now, everyone pretty much does the same thing. So that's something that you can kind of look at how you can innovate the game and make it a little bit better, that's kind of a couple of things we try to do with Central.
Both Marlborough men, Leon and Kieran, weren't they?
Both Marlborough men. Yeah.
Yeah, mate, you left Tasman after the 2015 season, playing 78 games, including the 2013 championship and a couple of premiership finals, heading for Europe. You returned 2020, playing in that year's premiership victory over Auckland. What was your recollection of that final?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, that whole year coming back, there was a 2020 was a COVID year. So, and I was over in France for 4 years, and I still had 2 years of my contract, but I suppose that whole COVID, you didn't know what was going on. So, I mean, to come back, to be able to even just get a contract, I was pretty happy with, and I think it was good timing. And then, to be able to play in the final and contribute was probably one of the best moments I've ever had, because I didn't think it'd be possible to come back. And just recollection of the final was probably that final whistle. I mean, I'd just come off, and then when Finley ran about 40 metres the wrong way and kicked the ball, and I just remember just everyone screaming, everyone running to him, and it was just such an awesome experience, and something I didn't really, expect to happen when I did come back.
Well, it was an unexpected win. We've talked about it a number of times, haven't we, on the show with various people. It was we went into that as rank outsiders, and Auckland, of course, basically had engraved their name on the trophy. So to go there and upset them after getting flogged in the regular season, an amazing achievement by everyone in that game.
Yeah, and I think, like you said, I think they did have a bit of arrogance, because I remember we were just doing the national anthems, and we were all pretty into it, pretty emotional. We looked over and they were laughing. It was real weird. There was a couple of boys, they were joking around. And then in my mind, I was like, these boys they think they've got it already. So I think that kind of flipped the switch. I remember Davey saying in the huddle that, look, they're laughing, they're not even taking this serious. So I think that kind of sparked how we were. But then you look, I suppose that one was pretty special. And then the year before, where they had an absolute packed team, they had All Blacks everywhere, probably had the Form 6 was better than the All Blacks with the World Cup year. So it was cool. It was an awesome year, and it was awesome just to be part of it, and probably just to contribute as well.
Righto, mate. Since coming back, you've been coached by Andrew Goodman, Clark Dermody, Dan Perrin, and Gray Cornelius. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about them. So Gray is a long-standing coach from Marlborough. Do you have much to do with him in your time when you were playing at school and club rugby over there?
He was he was my PE teacher, actually. He was my year 10 form teacher. So
okay.
So he was just starting when he was starting to coach. I think he might have been doing under 15s, and so my KK was my last first 15 coach, and Gray I think took over a couple of years. So I've known Gray for a very long time, and but for the coaching thing, I didn't really have too many coach things with him. Oh, he did coach my under 15 team, and I did play 9, so I'm not too sure.
So
that was So I was playing 7 and then 9, and then something happened, and then he put me into 9. And then my first forward, he wanted me to box kick, and I think I had 2 box kicks. Kicked one into my own player, and another one got charged down. So I thought he saw something different than I did. So it was he was good.
Smaller number on your back immediately.
It's automatically you think, he put him in 9, he must think I can kick. So that wasn't it.
Right. And then, of course, both Clark Dermody and Dan Perrin were front rowers. So I would have to think that they both had a huge influence in coaching.
Yeah, they did.
How you play the game.
Yeah. Well, both pretty similar. Obviously front rowers, and there's a big emphasis on the scrum and in the Maul D, which was probably what Clark brought into the Tasman to the Mako system when I was coming in. So I think just around those tight stuff, around those tight areas, just really nailing your job, really nailing the detail. I think that's kind of what I've learned from these boys. And then just saying, so then obviously Piggy took over last year, was the co-coach, and then just seeing his progression from that to doing when I was down spending some time in Crusaders, it's just he's been outstanding, phenomenal, and just the growth he's made and just some of the things he's doing, and obviously he's got a championship for that. So no, they've just taught me just different things around just the tight stuff and being on the ball all the time and Dan around a little bit of line-out throwing and stuff like that. So they've been pretty good.
Awesome. And then last but not least, one of our favourite sons, Andrew Goodman, like you, transitioned very quickly from being a player into coaching. So anything you take out of what you've learned from Andrew in that regard, the way you're progressing your career?
Yeah, well, like you said, I think it's getting pretty similar because once Goody finished, and he was the heart and soul of a lot of our teams, and I mean he always carried that mana, and that's what I was talking to Tim O'Malley the other day. It's like whatever he used to say, you just do. Even like if you're playing, if he's coaching, so he just had that mana. So I mean, seeing how he's progressed and just seeing how he to some of the things he was doing, he knew his stuff, but then he carried that mana. I think it's just something that I hope, if I can progress, maybe I could do the same, but I don't think I'd do the same as him because he was he's awesome. He's got a real big future.
So this year, mate, they got Dan and Gray take charge of the Mako, assisted by Hawani. Do you know who else is joining you as hookers in the squad?
So I think they're signing. I'm not too sure, so I can't.
Sure.
There's no. So he's got myself at the moment and Monu Moli's contracted as well. And I know I know Dill Irvine will be closely monitored because he's a up and coming hooker for the region. He's very good. But no, I can't really give you any insight yet. I'll have to wait till it comes out. I'd love to.
Without them being named, have you spotted any younger hookers around the club scene?
Naming those two. So and they're pretty young.
Yeah.
And there's another one I've got one out at Waitui. Toby McLeod. He's an upcoming. He's only a couple of years out of school as well, and he's a good abrasive boy. Yeah. And then there's Josh Teherad and Kahudang. He's good. He's a prop. He's a hooker. He can play anywhere, and he's a champion dude, and he's just a good general 40 player, can throw a good seed as well. So probably those four around the areas. There's probably ones to keep your eye on. But yeah, there's this old 35-year-old just hanging in there. So, well, 34. I'm 34. So.
Speaking of front rowers, at Central, you've got a new young Pacifica prop.
Yeah, Sione Papani. Yeah,
and apparently he is pretty good for his age, right?
Yeah, so he's one of the 18-year-olds that we talked about because talking about injuries. So we lost our whole front row with injuries. Within the first couple games, my brother who was playing tight end last year,
yes,
he did his bicep, and then the loose head prop, Dusty Foley, he was top prop last year, played development and stuff. He did his bicep. And then, we were in a bit of all sorts. So we thought this young kid, we're just going to bring him on, develop him, but he's played 60, 70 minutes each week, and he's strong. He's a good boy. He's still got a lot to learn, and he's doing some good things. He just needs to keep working hard and keep.
Sione
Papani, yeah.
Name to keep an eye on.
Watch out for him.
And we got a lock loose. He's just turned 18. It's Waden Smith. He's going great guns as well. He's one to watch, and another boy, Jack Kelly. So we've had a few young boys that we didn't think would play big minutes, but they've come into.
That's really the cool thing about our region. We create a lot of pathways for a lot of very good players to go to a higher level. Yet somehow through the age grade and club scene, these quality players keep on turning up. So. Yeah, there's nothing to be fraught about with losing players. It's going to give these young men an opportunity, isn't it?
No, and I think the general idea is you want to try and ease these young guys into it. But sometimes it's just out of opportunity, and sometimes you're always surprised just how quickly they raise to that level. So you just never know, do you?
Yeah, that was it. We thought at the start, we'll bring these boys in, develop them, but then it was just like, here we go. sink or swim, and they've been swimming well. So
awesome.
yeah, they got a bright future, those boys, and hopefully they make the 19 team and kind of recognition of what they've been doing. So yeah, it'll be cool to watch them develop, and hopefully I can be a little part of it.
Yeah.
Do you talk about work ethic with them, or do you just lead by example?
Oh, it's tough. Yeah, it's yes. No, I don't know. So because we don't have a reserve hooker. So I suppose if they see me playing 80 minutes and I'm bloody greater than anything, I suppose they might have to follow. But no, they're just good boys. They just keep their head down. They're just workers, and no ego. They just keep their head down, do what they're told, which is, there's a few, it's a little bit different. There's a few young boys that come in, they think they can run the show and talk all the talk. And it's a little bit different at Clubland. You kind of get found out pretty quick. So, no, it's been cool. That's been good.
Your thoughts on this weekend against Waimea for the game?
Oh, it's going to be, I think it'll be tough. I mean, I think I've seen photos. They did club day the other day. I think they must have had 50 games on it, because I don't know if there's a blade of grass left. So it'll be interesting. I've been calling Kahu saying, is it a health and safety risk? Can we get moved to bloody to T Park or something like that? We'll go after the Marist game, so we know what the rounds is back. There's been talks. I know it'll be good. It'll be tough. It'll be cool. It'll be a good time to hopefully get back on the winning track. But we know Waimea's a formidable pack, and they got a good win last week against Nelson.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, well, thanks very much, Quinton. Great to have you back again, and good luck with the rest of the season. So it's going to be a tight race, so we wish you all the best for that. And, of course, the Mako season coming up as well. So
yeah, it's not too far away, is it? It's creeping up, so it'll be good. Thanks.
Great to see you enjoying your new role with the Mako as well.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it is going good, that role. Yeah, it's cool. So a little bit of development, so it's good.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Les, what's happening this weekend?
Well, Trafalgar Park.
Yes,
where I'll be.
Yeah.
A big game. One plays two. Kahurangi ranked number 1, playing Marist ranked number 2. Whoever wins, that's guaranteed a top spot. And of course, depending on the other results, the losing team could end up in 4th. So it's such a close race. So I look forward to being there, and then heading to the club rooms afterwards, and then to O'Shadigan's after that. So
wow. And don't tell me you're just going to be...
Yeah, I just follow Les.
You just follow him again.
You don't need to drive this week.
No, yeah.
I'm just start being the driver.
Yeah, I just think so good drive in round.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it'll be good. Trafalgar Park, massive weekend for club footy. So it'll be good to see how that top 4 plays out for sure, and figure out where we are next weekend.
Great. A pleasure, gentlemen. Once again, thank you very much. And we look forward to speaking to everyone again next week.
The Mako Rugby Roundup. What's on, where and when? It's the Talk of Nelson. Talk Nelson Radio.